video is sponsored by Into the AM. Check this out, this entire outfit is Into the AM. And I mean, okay, maybe not the underwear, but I got an order going for that one. I actually do. I really respect their brand a lot, and I've said this before, but I've purchased clothing by them even before we started working together, and I honestly think that says a lot about the quality of their clothing. Guys, they're currently running a Black Friday sale for up to 80% off site-wide, but starting today, you're not gonna wanna miss out on even bigger Black Friday deals. I'm talking a new graphic tee launch, new markdowns and price slashes, an extra 15% off site-wide, and a free gift with purchase. And on top of that, you'll get an additional 10% off if you use my promo code WALT at checkout or click the link in my description. I really think this is a great opportunity to give yourself a wardrobe upgrade, and full disclosure, if you buy any items with my link, it'll allow me to continue this partnership with Into the AM even further. And I really love working with this company, so if you want to see more of them while also helping me out, I would super appreciate that. Hey, thanks again to Into the AM for supporting the channel, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. I mean, check it out. This entire outfit is Into the AM. Ow, that fucking hurts. Oh my god. Ah! Stop. Oh my god. Alright, look, when you're 5 years into a game's meta, the characters that are truly strong begin to break their way into the highest levels of competition. That's just a fact. It took generations of players to get us to where we are today. Many legends have come and gone, risen and fallen, all in anticipation for this one event and the ascension of a new generation of Smash Ultimate competitors chasing the title of best in the world. While a few key names weren't there, this tournament had just about everyone you could have wanted at a major event. This came in as genuinely the most top-heavy Ultimate tournament ever. Talents from Japan, Mexico, Canada, France, Spain, and beyond came together for the 710-player event. And while the title of Port Priority Champion may be nice, with every #1 contender for the year in attendance, this tournament had bigger implications than initially anticipated. There has been a tight battle for the #1 Ultimate player of 2023. It shifted many times throughout the year, but as 2023 comes to an end, this race is as competitive as ever. While some players may have fallen into and out of contention, all it takes is one event to bring them right back into the conversation. To start off our list, we have, of course, Acola, who has led the pack this year. He was not only #1 on the mid-year Lumi rank, but he's also the current favorite for #1 on the end-of-year ranking. Consistency would honestly be an understatement for the young competitor, as his 2023 has been the stuff of legends. His worst major placement was a 7th at Genesis, all the way back in January of this year, but since then it's been nothing but first with the occasional silver or bronze medal. Acola checks off every box you would want in a #1 player. Mind-boggling consistency, an incredible clutch factor, and insane head-to-head records against every top player. Well, against most everyone. All of his contemporaries have had at least one placement outside of top 24 in this year, while on one of Acola's worst days, he placed top 8 at a super major. The main argument against Acola has been his record versus one specific player who has also made an incredible case for #1 this year. Port Priority would be the chance for Acola to solidify his dominance overseas and win another P-tier event, thus solidifying his legacy. That player challenging Acola is of course Spargo, the other frontrunner for #1 to start the year, and many feel that he was snubbed for it on the mid-year ranking. The fan favorite started the year with incredible placements, but he couldn't just seem to bring it all together and close out a win. After a rather disappointing 13th place at the final Smash Summit, Spargo knew something needed to change. His killer mentality was put into another gear, and once he tasted victory, it seemed like that was all he knew how to do. He won 3 majors in a row, including 2 P-tiers in Kagurabi #10 and Battle of BC5, where he was able to overcome Acola at both events. He holds by far the best record over the Steve. In fact, Spargo holds a winning record against every potential #1 contender this year, and has beaten all of them on more than one occasion. After this streak, Spargo remained pretty consistent. 9th at Crown, 2nd at Gommel, and 3rd at Terra, along with victories at Luminosity Makes Moves Miami, Smash Factor 10, and Delfino Mazza are all amazing. But a notably weak 49th at Super Smash Con leaves a little bit of room for volatility when the discussion for #1 arises. Winning Port Priority would completely silence those doubters Spargo has had, and prove that he truly is the strongest player in the world. Also out of Japan, we have the competitor that's recently been clashing with Acola for his #1 ranking in Miya. He saw a similar rise to Acola, and this competitor is right behind his adversary for number of major wins this year, coming in at 8, right behind Acola's 9. With the main course of Game & Watch and an occasional side of Steve, Miya has made himself a contender for best in the world with his impeccable consistency. His year started rather weak, with a 13th at Umabura 9 and a 49th at Kagurabi #9, making his superb end to 2022 seem like almost a fluke. But after these events, he started winning, and winning, and winning. And just like we had seen with Acola and Spargo, it seemed like he didn't know how to stop. He's been a lot more susceptible to an upset than even Spargo through this year though, and so has continued to remain in the shadow of Acola, who consistently bested the Game & Watch.
All of that was until Kagaribi 11 a month prior, where Miya was able to double eliminate Acola for the first time. Even at their last North American outings at Super Smash Con and Battle of BC, Miya was unable to outplace Acola at either event. So, of course, winning port priority over Acola could be all it takes for Japan's other star player to take the crown. While those three have been the main names in contention for #1 this year, there has been one other dark horse pick for best player in the world, and he's one of Smash Ultimate's most polarizing competitors, Sonix, who's sneakily been making a case for the year. Out of these four players, Sonix has had the potential to gain the most from port priority. Sonix certainly has been strong in years prior, but in 2023 he immediately went out with a bang, placing within the top 6 at his first 5 majors of the year, and he even got a major victory at GOML 2023. A 13th at Crown and 25th at SmashCon showed that he was able to come up short a couple times, but his peaks more than made up for it. Despite these great results and rarely being upset, his resume this year does hold a few flaws. For one, Spargo has been able to overcome him more often than not, no matter how close every set ends up being. Sonix still seems to have trouble closing out tournaments over the ages. Along with this, he's had yet to play Acola or Miya, and without those crucial data points, it would be hard to rank him as #1. But if Sonix were to win port priority, spoiler alert, I'm sure you get where we're going at this point. Alright, let's get this out of the way to start. One of these competitors heavily underperformed their initial seeding prediction and solidified their fate for this year. Spargo, who had looked solid through the winner's bracket, ran into his first challenge in Japan's best Sonic main, Ken. He's always had close sets with this Sonic, but had yet to lose. But the thing about Ken is that he is a longtime competitor with over a decade of high-level experience, so you can never count him out of picking up a huge win, and this was certainly one of those. This time it was Ken who was able to win 3-2 over Spargo, sending him into the losers bracket pretty early on. This was followed by Spargo immediately matching into Riddles in losers, which is always a volatile matchup as well. Riddles ended up taking this set 3-1 with this end, come on, that was just stupid, and he sent Spargo home at 17th place. So this left us with Japan's top 2 in Acola and Miya, and the Dominican Republic's #1 player in Sonix. How did they do? As expected, the three of them all made their way to winner's side top 8. We saw Miya match into the aforementioned Ken, who he was previously 5-0 on, and, well, he swiftly handled this Sonic and Sephiroth with a 3-0. On the other side of winners was Acola against Sonix, a fated matchup for both players. This would be a huge moment for Ultimate history, a clash of two titans. Acola needed to prove that if their name isn't Spargo, he doesn't lose to them. And as for Sonix, he would kind of be proving the same thing, I guess, but this would also be his first time playing against the rank 1 in the world, and he wanted to show what he was made of. But almost surprisingly, just as swiftly as Miya handled Ken, Sonix handled Acola. Sonix straight up looked like the clear better player at every point of the set as he went on to triple 2-stock Acola. It was clear Sonix had studied Acola thoroughly, and even at a deficit against a defensive character as strong as Steve, Sonix found his way in and sent the #1 in the world to losers with a 3-0. Winners Finals was once again another first-time matchup for Sonix against Miya. Based on previous set data against different players of the same characters, it was a little hard to predict who was going to take this one. Sonix has won his last 5 sets against North America's best Game & Watch, Meister, and Miya had won his last 6 sets against Ken, including their prior matchup in Winners Semis. This set started with the advantage in Miya's favor, opening with a standard Game & Watch string, but Sonix began to pick him apart. Reading a falling fair, Sonix went for a spin dash knowing it had priority over the bomb, and then that linked into a forward air, getting him a lead that he didn't let up for the remainder of the game. It was looking like Sonix was going for the 3-stock, but Miya found one before that game finished. Back on FD in Game 2, Miya made huge adjustments. After losing that first stock, Miya became seemingly untouchable. Game & Watch's ability to remain an offensive threat while staying relatively safe was exemplified fully through that game, and Miya ended up striking back with a 2-stock of his own. It was Miya's ability to disengage from disadvantage that was paying dividends, but when Sonix began to pick up on these patterns, he made him pay for it. In Game 3, he made Sonic look absolutely broken, honestly, nearly 3-stocking the Game & Watch once again. It really seemed like Miya didn't stand a chance against this Blue Fury, showing that Game & Watch isn't the only one who can reset situations for free. And right out of the gate in Game 4, Sonix took Miya's first stock at 87% in under a minute, which is pretty fast given the way these players can play sometimes. Miya was able to even up the stock count and once again was able to make his stock as valuable as possible, racking up over 170% before losing it while getting some good damage on Sonix. But when you're down a stock against Sonix, you know the vibes. In clear desperation, Miya was unable to get more than a single solid hit on Sonix to wrap up that game. Sonix dashed in and out to bait a jump out of the corner and punished it with his huge forward smash, sending the other of Japan's top 2 into the losers bracket, now awaiting his next opponent. On the losers side of bracket, Acola was able to defeat Light 3-1 and Ken 3-0 to match up against Miya in losers finals. The way these two play is very clear that they've had hundreds of games against each other in the past, in and out of tournament. Everything they did was very intentional, and it seemed like Miya was playing with a bit more energy. Starting off with a comfortable lead, he looked to finish this game up quick. But Acola began to slowly fight his way back, and once he was able to secure Diamond, he had already brought the game back to an advantage for him. He finished it off with a 1-stock and an advantage to start this set. In game 2, Acola went Aegis? With the Spargo fan tagged attached, he locked in the Pyramithra to show what he could do against Miya, and well, let's just say Acola has made smarter character choices in the past. He ended up getting 3-stocked by Miya and promptly switched back to Steve the following game. On both of these players' comfort stage, FD, Acola started off with a huge opening to start the game. Miya is one of, if not the best players at bullying Steve without resources, and once Acola was out of iron, Miya chipped away at him until he secured the stock. Miya continued this game with an impressive level of precision, accurately tracking down Acola in disadvantage, and ended up closing out the game with a 2-stock to bring him up 2-1. Running it back to FD, Acola nearly SD'd to start off the game, but after making it back safely, what he got wasn't all that much better. Miya kept Acola in a resource drought. He was launching himself onto Acola and consistently applying pressure until the first stock of the game was taken. Acola did use this aggressiveness against Miya though, and countered an approach with an anvil, evening the stock count. This game ultimately went to last stock, and Acola once again almost SD'd, but it seemed to shake him up just enough for Miya to take advantage. Acola was almost bailed out by a rage anvil, but Miya, with yet another chase into the corner, found the finishing blow to send Acola home at 3rd place.
Up there. Acola one last gasp to keep this tournament run alive, trying to force a game number 5. Miya, though, bearing down on him. Oh my God! And Miya wins the exchange, coming out on top.
We were now slated to have a winners finals rematch. Each competitor had a ton of momentum, and this final matchup would be an absolute spectacle. Miya looked much more comfortable in this encounter than he had in the winner's side. He had seemingly solidified his defensive options, understanding which of Sonic's options were and weren't worth interacting with. This, coupled with a relentless advantage state, led to Miya taking the first stock of Grands and snowballing that momentum into the following 2, taking the first game of the set. Sonix checked Miya back though, showcasing his imposing patience in game 2 and closing it with a timeout, making it 1-1. And of course, games 3 and 4 were a war of attrition. Both were drawn out, last stock games that honestly could have gone either way. But in the end, Miya was able to find the finishing blows to close them out, taking the first set and resetting the bracket against Sonix.
That grab so close. We are definitely not in timeout.
He's
Danger.
Gone. Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
With a fresh mentality and another 3 games to work with, Sonix looked more confident than ever. After catching Miya's drift back with a forward smash, Sonix took Miya's next stock in 13 seconds with a pair of spin dash conversions into an edge guard.
Oh,
Nice.
damn.
After such a dominant display, it ended up being a close game though, with Sonix barely scratching by with 1 stock to take game 1. Game 2 began with a strong advantage for Miya, but as Sonix slowed down the pace once again, he brought it back to a last hit situation, where in a crazy turn of events, Miya actually timed Sonix out. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. In Game 3, we saw Sonix get another early spin dash kill to establish an early advantage, and in another drawn-out game, Sonic's patience truly started to pay dividends for him. While Miya began to try to force kills with smash attack reads, Sonix was already well aware of this option and countered it over and over and over again, eventually taking the game with a back air on one of these smash attack attempts, putting him up 2-1. This was potentially Miya's last game of the entire event, and he needed to make it count if he wanted to prove his spot as best in the world. These two players were neck and neck though, trading hits back and forth to start off their 8th game of the set. Miya did grab the first stock of the game, but Sonix, as unfazed as ever, came right back to even it up. After a chain of uncontested strings, Sonix made a huge call out to take Miya's next stock without much on the board and snowballed that momentum into the next one as he put over 90% onto the Game & Watch before starting his last stock. Miya didn't let up though, and once again with the 3rd lightest character in the game, managed to live to over 150%. With all of this rage, Miya knew he needed just one opportunity, one smash attack, or one edge guard to close this game and make it a Game 5 situation, but Sonix saw through it all and knew that above anything else, Miya was scared, and he took advantage of it. Without hitting a single button, Sonix was able to force Miya to recover low off the stage, baited him into rolling from ledge and doing a spot dodge before closing the grueling 50-minute grand finals with a neutral air.
What? That's gonna do it! Damn your seeds! Damn your curses! Damn your hates. That man is your damn champion of Port Priority 8.
After coming up short a handful of times following his win at Gommel with second after second, Sonix was able to claim his second major victory of the year in perhaps the most stacked bracket of all time. This of course not only solidified himself among the all-time greats of Smash Ultimate, but it also made him one of the only players repping his character and country at the highest level. Looking at all our competitors' resumes, I don't think this pushes Sonix into #1 for the year, but it damn well raises the question. Could Sonix be ranked as the #1 player in the world? Well, yeah, sure, definitely. He has the potential to do it, and there's still a month and a half left in 2023, so I guess we'll just have to see. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the content, and thank you to our top tier patrons and YouTube members, Vishua Stein, Bobby Wasabi, Erica's Cool, Juniper, and NNG Esports for supporting the channel. We're on our way to 80k subscribers, and I really think we can make it to 100k by next year, so if you like this kind of stuff, please consider doing your boy a solid right here. Alright, you should definitely go click one of these now.